Hello everyone and welcome back to another Grainman Travels adventure, and today we're in Holland on a new map called Dutchpolder. Now this was a map that was released on Mod Hub on the 25th of the 7th 2023. Now I'm a little bit behind on some of my map tools, so apologies about that. I shall be catching up over the next few days, so please bear with me. So this is actually on, this version I'm running here is actually on version 1.1.0.0 because it came out on the 25th, but it did actually get patched a day later on the 26th to fix an issue with the water planes. And there's quite a lot of water on this map because of the dikes, etc. So probably a pretty important fix. So let's run through some of the key information. This map was actually made by two modders, NorthEastModding and Bas. So it's 115.61 megabytes to download. It's cross-platform, so it's actually PC, Mac, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 and the Xbox One and the Xbox series of consoles, the Xbox Series S of consoles. It needs quite a lot of required mods, so we'll just run through them quickly as well. So it needs the wind turbine package, which obviously you can see there's quite a lot of those now, by Razak. It's got the Modern Shed by DMI 20mm modding and Dutch modding Inc. It's got the old Cowshed by DMI 20mm Normandy. It's got the Cowshed Pack by Reffarmer and DMI 20mm Normandy. It's got the Bunker Silo by DMI 20mm Normandy. It's got Sell Everything by Schultz modding. It's got the Farmsilo Package By, you guessed it, DMI 20mm Normandy. EU Factories by DMI 20mm Normandy. It's also got a custom BGA, a 60 kilowatt one by MefiuFs, I think it is. You've got the Cowshed Pack by DMI 20mm Normandy. You've got the Crop Storage Pack by DMI 20mm Normandy. Manure Bassin, Fuel Tank Pack, Pigshed and Farmhouse package, and all of those are also made by DMI 20mm Normandy, apart from the fuel tank pack, which is actually Dutch Modding Inc. Now I think that might be another name for the same modder, but I'm not 100% sure because obviously DMI, I'm guessing it 20mm Normandy might be somebody who's part of that setup of modders. So the map comes with 128 fields. As you can see, they're pretty square, but different sizes and lots of areas with dikes in between. It's got 3 outlets, it's got a BGA, you can have 6 different farms, and there's also a custom brick texture. So yeah, I think as always though, we'll go back to the main starting farm and have a quick look at our starting equipment and see what we get. So I'll get my feet firmly back down on the ground. So as you can see, on new farmer mode we start with quite a lot of equipment. This will take quite a while to go through, but as always, if you want to, skip through the chapters of the video to see the bits that you want to see, and also let me know in the comments if you started on this map whether you would also keep all this equipment or whether you'd sell it and get your own. So it'd be nice to hear from people watching this. So let's start. So in small tractors, we start with a Class Arian 650, which got the 185 horsepower. We then get the John Deere 6120M with 140 horsepower. We get a nice Fendt 722 Vario with the 228 horsepower. We get the Deutzfahr Topliner 4090H Harvester. We get a very nice Class Scorpion 1033 telehandler. We get the Rudolph TDK 301 RP trailer, which can do all your standard crops. We get the normal 6 metre Deutzfahr header. We get an Agramash POV 5XL 2.5 metre plough. We go around here. We get the Horsch Terrano 3 FX 3 metre cultivator. We get the Amazoni KG 3001 Super Power Harrow, so that's a 3 metre one. We get the seeder to go on top of it, so the Centire 3000 Super, which again is a 3 metre. We get the very nice Agramash Falcon 3 planter, which is again 3 metres. We get the Hardy Mega 12000L 24 metre sprayer, so that's always nice to see that one. We get the age-old favourite, the Amazoni ZA TS 3200 fertiliser spreader, but do remember this only does fertiliser, not lime. Then we get the HB Brantner TA 12050 power spread manure spreader, so it's nice to see a manure spreader on starting equipment. We start with 2 mowers. We've got the KHN GMD 8730FF and the KUHN GMD 3123F. So we've got the butterflies for the back and the front mower for the front. So that's 3.1 meters. That's 8.3. So yeah, good setup that. We get the very nice Pottinger Hit 16.18T tedder. So this one's actually the 17 meter version. That's one of my favourite tedders actually. And we get the Samash windrower. We get the Z2-840H 8.4 meter windrower. We get the Schultz Maker Rapide 580V 35,000 litre capacity forage wagon. We get a nice Silo King Trailed 4.0 Premium 2218-22 forage mixing wagon, so that's also good to see. We've got a couple of Magsy bits of telehandler tools, so universal bucket, a pallet fork and a bale fork. We get the standard header trailer, and finally we get a 10 Winkle FGB 600 front weight. So yeah, an awful lot of equipment. Right, so starting farm, it's kind of here. It's a bit of a weird one though, since there's lots of different areas to buy on this as well. And you do start with lots of different things, but main farmyard is pretty good. We've got silage bits here and there. We've then got even more of our equipment in these sheds. Also got a nice custom, these custom placeables as well. I don't think they actually work, but I'm not 100% certain. So, but the main farm itself is quite nice. It's all surrounded by water and dikes though, so do be very, very careful when you're driving around not to dike your tractor. This is another silage pit, yeah. So quite a lot of silage pits. Then we've got this first animal pen as well, which we'll run through shortly. We've got this other concrete road that runs around here in between all the dikes, which then runs around to the other part of the farm. So yeah, interesting layout. So if we have a quick look at the animals then, so we actually start with the cow barns on this farm, then you've got pigsties which are spread around the map, which we'll run through in a second. So cow barn, this is one of them there, which I think, if we go around here, we've got the animal trigger, yep. If I can get to it, there we are. This is a 70 head cow barn, so not massive, but pretty nice. Quite a nice model as well, so that's good to see. And we've got this one, which we'll run through if we can. Jump, there we are. Can we do it? Yeah, we can. And this is a 140 head cow barn, so slightly bigger, and yeah, quite tight though in places. I think if you had a lot of equipment coming in and out around that corner, so I'm guessing that's why you've only got a small forage mixing wagon. So pigsties wise, this map is quite heavily orientated towards pigs. Now, one thing I will say is you do start with just this one here, 92, but you can buy these other ones that I've already purchased, and these do have some of the pigsties on. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head exactly which ones do, so you're going to have to bear with me. So I'm going to go here first. Does this have a pigsty on it? No, it doesn't still everything trigger, but it does have a house. Let's go to this one. It's just got the fuel tank. So the pigsties are actually split between two different locations. Now that I've actually got my mini map sorted, I can actually see where they are. So first four is actually here. So if we actually go out of here quickly. So again, everything's surrounded by dikes, bit of a dip there. Here we go. So this is a 250 head pigsty there. And another 250 head. I'm going to take a guess and say this one is 2, yep. And that one, yep. And so if we go back to the map quickly, so that's where our starting farm is. So just over a couple of fields and a couple of waterways is one area of pigs. Then we've got the other ones which are here. There's only got 3 pigsties here. And I'm guessing these are probably slightly smaller, but there's a slurry pit there as well. 170 head, so yeah, ever so slightly smaller. Still 170 head. And finally 170 heads. So yeah, if you're into pigs, this is probably the map for you because there's an awful lot of them. We have a quick look at what we actually start with. So when we first come on, we actually only just start with this 192. I've bought the rest of the areas just to find where the pigs and the other farms are. So most of the other areas, apart from obviously here 90 and 112, are very small little farmyards with sheds a few sheds, and probably like a petrol pump, etc. You actually start the new farm mode with a couple of productions. Like I said, you actually start with the biogas plant, the grain mill, and also the dairy. As part of that, though, the actual contracts on the map are pretty good. Pretty standard contracts: fertilising, harvesting, cultivating, etc. An awful lot of farmland, an awful lot of farmers, so pretty varied if you want to do contracting. But if we have a quick look where the grain mill is. So the actual grain mill is, on one of these sites, which has got like a house, so you could probably put a home trigger there, etc. But you've got a nice grain mill to start off with. Now if we have a quick look at the dairy, which is here as well. Again, potentially a house here that you could put a home trigger on. And there's your dairy, and a shed as well, plus a sell everything sell point as well. So quite a functional area, this one, I suppose. Farmyards are all quite clinical and quite clean, and not quite perfect, which is okay, but it's not my cup of tea personally. But there you go. So let's run through all of those. If I have a quick look at the actual map itself, so the map itself is pretty, well, it's pretty big, with an awful lot of square fields with just a few notches out here and in the middle and other places as well. It's quite uniformly laid out map, with the roads and also the dikes running around, which is okay. Obviously you've got main road that runs all the way around, plus offshoots as well, and in between most of these fields will be your dikes for your waterways, etc. I mean, if you want to do some very large scale farming, then this is probably the map for you in regards to having an awful lot of fields of medium size, so that's quite nice. Could get a little bit probably repetitive though, after a few tens of hours playing this map. So I mean, the crop calendar itself is pretty standard. It's not been changed. There's no custom crops or anything in it as well. There's also nothing to sell. So suppose what we can do, run through some of the actual productions that are on the map itself. So if we start from our main farm here, if we go up here, we've got the slurry basin, sell everything, and the biogas plant, which is not too bad. That's fuel tank in one of the farmyards. We've got a livestock market there. Got another fuel tank on one of our farms. Another slurry basin, the fuel tank where the pigs are. The shop itself is in the middle there. Then we've got the grain mill that we own and the sell everything trigger. We then have another fuel tank on another area of the farm, another sell everything, and the dairy. And I think that is pretty much it. Let's just check our filters. Yeah, we'll turn contracts on even though we don't actually use it. But yeah, pretty much there's not an awful lot of areas to sell. This is quite heavily focused on obviously farming and then taking it to a sell everything point. So that's not too bad, but it's a little bit different way of farming, I suppose. So that's pretty good. So if we skip back to the main farm, if I remember rightly though, we don't actually have a vehicle. So let's see if we can, let's go for the John Deere, I think. I'll have a quick drive around the farm area and also some of the areas of the map just to show off what it's like. I mean, the main roads are pretty wide, so you'd get a good amount of large equipment on this map. Obviously there's an awful lot of windmills and bits and bobs. It's quite nice features in regards to like some of the bridges have got the danger signs next to them and bits and bobs. So that's pretty good. And there's that as well. I'm not quite sure what that orange pole is. A little bit strange, but there's some nice custom things on this map for that. I mean, there's obviously quite a lot of big flat open areas, and there does seem to be a telegraph pole, so a light pole already been hit by somebody. It's on a bit of a lean. I don't know if that's designed like that on purpose or if that's just a bug in the map. I'm not quite sure. So, but yeah, it's not really an awful lot to show really. I mean, around the outside there's an embankment around the whole map, and then there's obviously all the fields are literally off this main route that sits all the way around, and obviously with the water, and there's a few bridges to go over the waterways. I mean, now the water's been fixed, it looks pretty nice. It's quite a nice texture, so it's quite nice and bright. But generally, it's a pretty self-explanatory, quite flat, non-undulating, no contours map really that can offers some pretty varied farming. It would have been quite nice to probably have some custom crops on this, then you can mix it up a little bit, but yeah, it's not too bad at all really. Oh, someone's overtaking me, so I think apart from where we are now, so we started here, we're there. If you made it all the way round, it's pretty much the same. Some of the roads intersect down the middle down here and also down here, so I don't really see the point in doing much more of a driving around tour because there's not really many features on this map to point out. So I think, as always, we'll probably finish with some field prices. So I wanted to go into 38, 116,000, 40, 97,000, 41, 94,000. That's not too bad. 43, 65 over the road. 104, not too bad, 17, 96, so definitely doable in regards to buying some more fields and expanding, especially in new farmer mode. But yeah, it's not too bad at all. Let's skip back to the main farm. Hopefully you've enjoyed this map tour. If you have, give it a like, subscribe to the Grainman channel, and I hope to see you again soon. Many thanks.